Knowing when something is good is kind of difficult. And I've spent a lot of time in the past couple of weeks kind of wondering what makes something good. Like, how do you judge that you're creating good content, good work for the clients that you have, for everything that you're doing? And I've come up with two ways that you can kind of judge whether or not you're doing good work, whether it's for yourself or for others. And there's minor differences between what happens when you're creating work for yourself and what happens when you're creating work for others. And a lot of it has to do with the expectations that are set and the measurements that you have for what makes something good. And I've struggled with this a lot because it's kind of hard when you look at content or look at what somebody's creating and you look at that and you go, they're doing some amazing work. And then you wonder whether you're meeting that or not. And so I've always kind of wondered this from time to time. Even if people tell me I'm doing good work, I'm always kind of a little bit curious by it. And so the two things that I've come up with are that when you're doing work for others, you're essentially setting quality standards. So you're not looking for anything other than what equals quality assurance. So you want to have things that don't have any defects. You want to make sure you're doing it consistently and doing it well. You want to make sure that you're meeting their expectations, you're seeing their vision and meeting it. And when you're not doing that, then you're not meeting quality. Whereas when you're doing it for yourself, when you're doing something for yourself, my coach, I was talking to him recently and he was telling me that the best way to judge quality or good work for yourself is the vision you have for it. Did you set a vision for it and are you meeting that vision? And that's kind of weird and a little bit difficult to handle, but essentially what that means is, what does it mean to have good content to you, and are you meeting that requirement? And if you're not, that's data to say, how can I get there, or how am I going to adjust the vision to meet it next time? And I've struggled with this a lot, but the hardest part is to set a vision for yourself and not get interrupted by somebody else's opinion about that vision or about that work. So it's important that when you're doing good work for yourself, when you're adhering to your vision, that if you hear an opinion from somebody, that you don't start adjusting to their opinion, because now you're doing work for somebody else. And so it becomes this weird thing to try and handle, but ultimately set the vision for it when it's work for yourself and try and meet that vision. If you don't meet that vision, use that data to find something new and reset, try to close that gap just a little bit more. Just like Ira Glass talks about that gap. You want to try and close the gap between your taste and your skill, and your vision can be in there as well. When you're doing it for others, try and make sure that your work doesn't have any defects to it, that your work is what they're expecting it to be, and you know what their expectations and visions are for that work, so that you can try and meet it or exceed it. Because if you exceed it, now you're doing exceptional work. So I don't know. These are just some thoughts, some ramblings on what makes good work. And I'm curious to know down in the comments below what you think and how you define good work for yourself. How do you quantify what good work is? Let me know down in the comments below.